In this lesson, we're going to talk about something that's very common when you're making maps. Oftentimes, you will get, say, a list of addresses and be asked to put them on a map. Now, you can't take those addresses directly and plot them. Instead, first you have to geocode them, which is to turn them from those addresses into a simple features object. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use the tidygeocoder package to geocode addresses and ultimately plot them on a map. What you're looking at here is the documentation website for tidygeocoder. I definitely recommend taking a look through it. We are going to use basically one function from it, the geocode function, which will allow us to go from addresses to coordinates. Okay, I am in RStudio. I'm going to run library SF and library tidyverse. I'm just going to manually create a tibble called famous places. You can see it's got the White House and the Empire State Building, and I've got the addresses for each of those in that variable. Now I'm going to run library tidygeocoder and watch what happens when I run famous places and then I run the function geocode, providing it the address. So what it's doing here is it's saying pasting two addresses to the, I don't even know how you pronounce that, nominatim single address geocoder. In any case, it takes them, and you can see here that it's now added two columns, lat and long. So it's basically taken the address and figured out the latitude and the longitude of them. Now, if I were to take that data, I could then convert this into an SF object, right? We learned how to do this in the last lesson. So I take my famous places, I geocode it, then I use st as SF, giving it the coordinates and the coordinate reference system. So if I do that and I save it as famous places SF, you can see now we've got all of our metadata showing that it is a simple features data set. And if I run map view on it, it will show up here. There's the Empire State Building. There's the White House. Okay, I'm going to try this again with a new data set on US and UK head residences. So if I just run this, you can see down here, we've got the White House. We know that's going to geocode successfully. But then I also have number 10. So number 10 Downing Street in London, where the UK Prime Minister lives. Let me go ahead and run geocode on that address column here. So when I run that, take a look at what is returned. You can see down here, it successfully geocoded the White House, but for some reason it did not work with number 10 Downing Street. Now, I don't know exactly why number 10 Downing Street did not geocode successfully, but the nice thing about the tidygeocoder package is that you can use multiple services for geocoding. So if it doesn't work with one service, you can try another. So if you click on the Geocoding Services page on the tidygeocoder website, you can see it lists all of the services that you can use. Now, the nominatim service from OpenStreetMap is free, so it is the default. But in my experience, it's not always the most accurate. The one that I have had the best experience with is called LocationIQ. I found LocationIQ to be very accurate, and it also has a really generous free tier. So to set this up, you'll want to go to the LocationIQ website. You'll either hit sign up, assuming you don't have an account. I already do, so I'll go ahead and log in. Okay, I've logged into my account, and I'm going to go to access tokens. You can see that I created an access token before. So this is what's going to enable us to use LocationIQ services within R. Now, assuming you have not created an access token, on this page, you'll go ahead and create one. Once you've done that, you will get your token. So I'm going to click Show Token here, and I'm going to copy my token. Okay, I'm back in RStudio. To add my token, I'm going to type use this : edit R environ. This will edit our R environ file, which is a file that you use to store access tokens or API keys like this one. Okay, so scrolling down on the tidygeocoder page, you can see it talks about API key retrieval. What this indicates is just what you need to give the name of your API key in your R environ file so that the tidygeocoder package will find it. And you can see that it's called LocationIQ API key. Okay, so in my R environ file, I've typed LocationIQ API key, and then I do equals, and then in quotes, and I paste my API key. Okay, from there, you need to then restart your R session so that that new API key can take effect. Okay, so I am going to run everything from here down just to get us back where we were. So everything is geocoding. The last one here, we made our map. It's geocoding the US and UK head residences. And again, the one in the UK is not working. However, you can see here on line 50, I have added an argument in the geocode function, which is method equals IQ. So when I run that, now it's going to use LocationIQ as my geocoding service, and you can see that it successfully worked. What I've shown you up to this point is geocoding when you have the address in one variable. But oftentimes you'll have it separated across multiple variables. You may have street address, city, state, zip code, or some variation depending on where the addresses are from. Let me show you how you can geocode this type of data. Okay, so I have here a data frame, a tibble that I'm creating, which is US and UK head residences V2. And see here how I've got address, city, state, postal code, and country. So now, if I go down here, in fact, let me bring up the documentation for the geocode function. You can see that you can either give it just an address or you can give it these other things. So I can say street equals address, city equals city, state equals state, etc. So let me go ahead and run that. And you can see again down here, when I'm using just the OpenStreetMap default, it doesn't actually get it. So I can again use my method equals IQ here, and that will work successfully. Should. Let's see. There we go. And so you can geocode either with a full address or with your address in individual pieces. Okay, for your turn, I want you to go ahead and create a tibble with the starter code that I've given you, and then enter your home address. From there, I want you to use the tidygeocoder package to geocode your address, turn the result into an SF object with st as SF, and then plot it on a map with the map view function from the map view package to make sure that it worked. If you want to use method equals IQ, and again, I highly recommend it. I didn't show you on the website, but they have a free tier. I think you get like up to 5,000 addresses per day, which is a lot. So go ahead and sign up for that if you want to do that, and then add method equals IQ in the geocode function to use LocationIQ.